Assalamu alaikum viewers. This is a special transmission brought to you by De Montfort University, DMU, from UK, and we have some special guests with us. Let me introduce you to Lisa Williams. She's the Regional Director Americas of DMU, and Mr. Yasir Majid, Director of Student Solutions. Viewers, as you know, that education is a backbone of the economy of any country, and it has a basic requirement to be fulfilled by the students. So this requirement needs to be fulfilled by the students in order to in a way that they should be getting education in a recognized university or a college. And these colleges or universities are not only in Canada but also in other parts of the world. UK is one of them, and why it is so important and why it is necessary for any student to go to the university in Canada or in UK. We're going to discuss that today. We're going to let you know that what are the some perks for the students, especially the pharmacy field, who want to join the university in UK. What are the perks? So we'll start with Lisa. Lisa, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All right. So I believe this is your first time in Toronto? Or?
Almost. I've been here a couple of times. First time on TV in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've been here a few times. Always love coming back here. It's a great city. You're very lucky to live here.
All right. Awesome. So this time you came back for the DMU.
Yeah.
Tell me about DMU. What is DMU? Where is it? What's happening there?
Sure. So DMU is De Montfort University. We are in a city called Leicester, which is about 1 hour north of London. So it's in the Midlands. It's quite central in England. It's a great position. And we're a university of 27,000 students. Around 21,000, 22,000 of those are British, and then the remaining 4,000 to 5,000 are international students.
45,000.
4,000 to 5,000.
4 to 5,000. Okay.
Yeah. So these international students come from over 130 different countries worldwide. It's an incredibly multicultural place. It's an exciting place to be. International is our focus. In terms of our academic content, we offer 4 different large subject areas, 4 different faculties. We've got business and law, art, design, humanities, computer and engineering, and I've missed one out, health and life sciences. Health and life sciences, yeah. So we offer programs on an undergraduate level, postgraduate level, PhD level, and foundation level for any international students that might need a little bit of a leg up prior to starting a bachelor's. Luckily, Canadian students don't need that. They can start direct into a bachelor's year 1 after graduating year 12.
And that's a great news.
It's great news
for
yeah,
Canadians,
it's wonderful.
right?
Yeah, great news. Direct entry.
Wow. Wow. I have Mr. Yasir Majid with us, and he works as a director of Student Solutions. Yasir bhai, what is this Student Solutions? Do you provide solutions like they provide you with a test and you give them the solutions to that test? What happened?
Well, as we were discussing, it's a name itself, self-explanatory, Student Solutions. So we basically dealing with UK universities and studying the UK services since 2003. So it's one platform for all Canadians who wanted to study in the UK coming through Student Solutions. So it's all kind of solutions for students as far as it's related to study the UK. So we basically talk to their parents, we process the application process as well. We go through any kind of fundings they are looking through OSAP or scholarships. And when it comes to study permit as well for the UK, we guide them as well. The story doesn't end here. We basically help the students once they are in the UK as well, helping them to settling down as well in terms of accommodation. The first few weeks are very challenging for them, so we try to help them in terms of settling in the UK, and then once they're good with it, we basically try to support them in terms of, once they're coming back to Canada as well. The reason being because I myself have been international students before in 2003, so I know how the international students do face difficulty when they go into the UK, and they started to make new friends, but it takes a while to do that. So it's a company which helps students who wanted to go abroad, and right from the beginning till the end, they get a piece of mind application process as well, and we try to help them.
So you guys, Student Solution has some collaboration with the university as well, or you are doing it independently?
We are a private company, but we have been official representative for DMU across Canada, and we have contract with them for a year now, and we have been expanding this. We are looking forward to recruit students for them. So the purpose is, as Lisa is here for a few days, but I will be here for a while, and I will be helping to go to the other schools and promoting DMU and educating students like how to make the application, what the pros and cons are to study in the UK. So that really helps students.
So will you be able to take some decisions on the student parts to by representing the university as well, or you'll be just a Student Solution company, independent company, who will be helping you students to go through the process?
No, all the decision makings have to be done by the university's
So approvals needs to be done by the university. Exactly. It cannot be done by the Student Solutions.
Exactly.
That's one thing. Okay. So Lisa, you have come all the way from UK to get our students to your university. So why should our students, Canadian students, should join your university in UK? Though we are still our main head of this country is Queen.
Sure.
Yeah, but still, I mean, we have universities in here. We have great colleges, great universities, one of the best universities in the world. How you compare your university with the Canadian university, and what are the perks? Why should our student, Canadian student, should go to the UK?
Sure. I mean, there's varying different reasons. There's a multitude of reasons. I think the British degree, the British curriculum is renowned for being one of the best in the world. To hold a degree from a British university is really, widely accepted and respected for employees and in various different industries worldwide. Secondly, in terms of the study abroad element, I was studied abroad 8, 9, 10 years ago, and I'm a massive advocate of it. I think there's just a whole host of benefits to taking your academic life overseas. There's cultural experiences, there's language barriers that you break down, there's societal reasons that it just widens up your horizons. You get to meet people and mix with people and network with people that you would never normally interact with. I think it's great for your career if you've got work experience or academic experience with overseas companies and corporations. I just think it's a wonderful thing to do, and in terms of DMU, it's one of the best places to do it. So we're rated TEF Gold in the UK, which is basically the UK government saying in a ranking of gold, silver and bronze, our academic content is rated gold. So not only is there academic...
And that's called TEF Gold?
TEF Gold, TEF Gold.
TEF Gold.
Teaching Education Framework. And
okay.
we're
and you've rated gold for that.
Yeah, we are.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it can't get any better. So our academic quality is there. The content is wonderful. It's rated gold, and that's by the UK government.
Okay.
But aside from that, we don't want to give students just the academics. We want to give them an experience. We are one of the only UK universities that absolutely guarantees students to have international experience, should they want it. So that's not just restricted to our British students. International students can take advantage of that, and that takes form in our DMU Global programme. So we guarantee that students can go on an academic-led programme related to their subject discipline overseas and learn more about it, or complement their studies, or take up project work related to their studies in an overseas environment. And it's invaluable on a student's resume. The city of Leicester, where we're based, is an incredibly multicultural city. It's affordable. It's got everything a student might want, from that modern aspect of shopping and nightlife and social life to the more British historical side of it. So it's, King Richard was buried there and lived there. So it's got a very British and historical heritage to it as well. And it's a great city to be in. It's sociable, it's safe, it's affordable. It's got that proximity to London in that we're only an hour away, but students are not committed and bound to those London prices. We're, considerably more affordable than London, and we just offer a whole round experience. It's the academic quality is there, plus that social side, plus that student life, plus that international experience. Our graduates, 95% of them go on to either employability or further study after 6 months of leaving with us. We propel students into that world of work. We'll help them network, we'll help get them internship experience, or help them meet people within the industry that they're studying in, and really give them that leg up. The wonderful thing now that the UK government has just introduced about 2 or 3 weeks ago is that students who start studying with us from September 2020, once they've completed their studies, can now stay in the UK for an extra 2 years and work. We've now got a post-study work visa, which for a few years we've not had, and has worked against us. It's been a hindrance. We've now got that, so students can come for whatever length of time their programme allows, and then stay for an additional 2 years to get work experience.
Awesome.
So it's a great time to join DMU.
Awesome. Viewers, this is a lot of information to digest. I know it is not very easy to digest or to understand, to comprehend all the information. So we have Mr. Yasir Majid number running under the screen, so you can call them and get more information if you want to. And in the meantime, I should ask another question from Lisa. Lisa, you just mentioned the price, the cost of living, the cost of education.
Yeah.
How do you compare the cost of education from Canada? I'm pretty sure you're well familiar, well versed with the cost living in here of education and accommodation and other things. So how do you compare the cost between the two?
Sure. I mean, there's two different factors to this. In terms of the actual tuition fee, on average, you're looking at around £12,000 annually in British pounds. That's your tuition and all your materials and books that you might need for it. Mm-hmm. Secondary to that, you've got your living expenses, and we estimate around £800 per month for accommodation, transport, social life, food, mobile phone, all those important things. Students can make it cheaper than 800. They tend not to in their first year while they're the first year abroad, and they can make it more expensive depending on their budgets. But as an average, around £800 per month. If you compare that to London, for example, which most students use as the benchmark, and actually it isn't.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So whenever we say London in here, we say London, Ontario,
London, UK,
or London, UK, just
our
to make
London.
Sure that we are far away from London, Ontario.
So our London, UK, in comparison, you can probably add about 40% onto that. A living cost, you won't find anything less than £1,000 per month, and tuition fees 16,000 annually. Mm-hmm. So we're considerably more affordable, but not compromising on that academic quality. That's the most important thing. Just because we're less doesn't mean the quality is less. I think secondary to that, we also have the added benefit that bachelors can be done in 3 years versus 4 years here, and masters can be done in 1 year versus 2 years here. So there's already an instant saving in terms of the length of the duration that the student will be studying.
Yasir, before I come to you, I have another question, and it's very important. I've heard this problem from from a lot of international students, that let's say if they are a couple and they want to join international student program, how would the couple would be entertained, the other partner would be entertained in your university? What would be the status? Would they be able to come in? Would they be able to join their spouses or fiancés or whatever? So how does it work?
Yeah, they can, but they will come under a different visa. So the student would be under what we call a Tier 4 visa. The spouse or dependent would come under a separate visa to that. So it's completely possible, and actually a lot of international students do it, especially the mature students who've maybe been married for a few years and they want to do an MBA after having got 4 or 5 years work experience. They bring their wife, their husband and their children along with them. So it's absolutely possible. It's just a separate visa process, but it's doable.
Wow, awesome. So, Yasir bhai, when we were talking prior to this program, and you mentioned that that this is the platform which you're running. It is different than what we Canadian here think for when we think of as an international student, we're thinking of joining an international university, we run towards lawyers, we run towards consultants, immigration consultants, give them a lot of money and talk to them and tell them, and some of them are, they are not very professional. And so in this scenario, since you are affiliated with the university, your official status is there, how comfortable a student should be while talking to you to go through the process?
Well, the basic thing is, like, when you are basically coming to a consultant, the student or the parent should always consider a couple of things. The first thing is, either the consultant is official representative of the university. The best and easiest way is to check with the school by emailing them or by calling them. But UK universities have a very structured website. They always have the contact details of the person as well, and that is listed on their website as well. So if the representative details are on the website, it's an official representative for them. So of course my details are there, so that makes me official there. So whatever I'm saying on behalf of university is as accurate as mentioned on the website and has been trained on. The second thing about most important thing is how knowledgeable or how skilled the specific consultant is. We don't do any particular country apart from UK. There is a very specific reason, because we have been very, very skilled towards and knowledgeable towards the UK side.
So you only do UK, and only you stick to this university, or you have other universities too?
No, we have about like 30 UK schools as well, which we're representing, and I have the privilege that we have been going to the UK every year in terms of different FAM tours we have been invited for different universities. I graduated, as I mentioned earlier, I graduated from a university in the UK, so I have the opportunity to stay there for like about 6 years. So that helps the students to transfer the experience what we had. So the parents and the student, that's a very key question that you have in fact asked. It's important that how much you know about the UK itself. It's not just about applying through the online portal. It's about like how much information you can get and give to them. Do you know the resources where you can get? It's not about just contacting the universities, but there are other universities, other scholarship opportunities where you can get from for particular programs as well. So we consider ourselves very blessed that we have all the resources in the world to check how the universities can be approached, how the school students can approach to the schools. Either when Lisa is here, for example, we can have a direct contact on one-on-one basis, or we can set up some Skype interview when we know the universities are there and they're available as well.
Okay.
So it's a very useful support what we are giving to students, and of course there is no cost which they have to pay to us anyways.
Oh, awesome! That's a great news for Canadians. I have another quick question for Lisa. Lisa, how do you have a certain criteria for applicants? Or your university would like to accommodate as many international students as possible by giving them a softer criteria than any other place in the world?
It depends really. We do have to have some level of minimum entry requirement, and that's purely for the student's benefit. We don't want an underqualified student to come onto a course, struggle and fail.
Sure.
So we do have to have minimum entry requirements, and they do differ by course. On average, and to kind of make it as simple as possible, we ask for around 65% overall in their final grade.
65%?
As minimum. We accept a range of different qualifications, the IB, the OSSD, advanced diplomas. So there are varying levels that we accept, and students have got varying different options what entry level they can come into, but there will be a minimum, and it is around 65%. In addition to that, in terms of the application process, we do need a reference from a student, either an academic reference, one of their professors, or if it's a mature student, we'll accept an employee reference. All students have to write a personal statement, which is their opportunity to just sell themselves. Why should we accept them as a student? What do they intend to do with this degree? What are the career aspirations? What prior knowledge have they got of their subject area? And that actually really helps us differentiate a good student to a student that we think might struggle. We really look at those personal statements. There are English requirements which are not applicable to Canadian nationals, but for other international students who maybe English isn't their first language, we do have English requirements, and that tends to be it really. I mean, it's an important process, and it's purely for the students' benefit.
Mm-hmm. I would like to add one point here.
Sure.
Considering the support to the application to the students. Once the students are making an applications, this is what we also help them in terms of writing their personal statement too. So we are not writing personal statement on their behalf. What we are trying to make sure is by discussing to them, by discussing to their parents, we try to make sure how, as much as element can be covered in the personal statement, because when we are submitting the application, it's a one-time application which you are submitting to them. So we are trying to make sure that as much element can be covered in personal statement as per their past experience. Sometimes the students are shy enough to include their voluntary experiences, for example, or they forgot, for example, because they just want to be very formal when they're writing something.
Yeah, of course.
We just want to make sure that they're completing as much information they can put into there, which is beneficial in making an firm offer from the university.
So you're truly a support. So another thing which is very important. Let's say I'm a good basketball player, and here they are offered scholarships on sports basis. So do you have scholarship programs available for international students as well?
We do. We have a range of scholarships, and we have a sports scholarship actually. The most kind of common one that we have for international students is based on GPA, and for the next upcoming intake, which is this January, it's £1,500, which students can top up by an additional £500 if they pay their deposit before a certain date, so it becomes £2,000.
Okay.
We've then got more specific ones. So, for example, our sports scholarship is for those students that can demonstrate they've competed or practiced at a high level in any sport, and it's applicable to any subject area the student's studying, and that's £6,000. It's not £6,000 cash. A percentage of that is cash. I think that's £4,000 scholarship, and the remaining £2,000 is in sports equipment, or sports training, or physiotherapy, kind of vouchers towards, totaling £6,000. We've then also got a scholarship called Square Mile, which is a full scholarship. It includes round trip flights, and it includes a bursary towards accommodation, and that's for students who can demonstrate that they are helpful in their community and do charity work and volunteering work. DMU is heavily involved in our local communities in Leicester and national, actually, in the UK, and we really get involved in volunteering and giving back to communities and helping wherever we can. So we reward students that do the same in their home countries. So if a student can demonstrate that they're really active in any particular charitable area, we've then got scholarships for that as well. So there are a few on offer. We have MBA scholarships for those students that want to study an MBA. That's £5,000, and alumni scholarships as well. So if a student graduates from one of our undergraduates and then wishes to pursue a master's with us, depending on their final undergraduate grade, there's varying levels of scholarship help there too.
That's pretty amazing, in fact. Lisa, what programs in Canadian students, among the Canadian students, are being popular at your university?
We tend to see a trend of pharmacy students and law students from Canada.
Pharmacy
and law.
And law students.
Yes.
Okay.
So pharmacy in particular is hugely popular in Canada, or in Canadian students coming over to the UK, because of our setup. Okay. So we offer what's called an M-Pharm, and that is a 3-year bachelor's, which then automatically leads into a 1-year master's.
M-Pharm?
M-Pharm, Masters in Pharmacy. So they'll start off in year 1 of an undergrad and finish 4 years later with a Masters in Pharmacy. And that's slightly different to the way that it's offered here in Canada, in that it's a quicker route, so to speak, but allows students to practice as pharmacists back here in Canada once they've completed a pre-registration year in pharmacy as well. They've got some kind of pharmacist practice.
Wow.
So we do see a huge trend in pharmacy students, law students, as I mentioned. So a lot of students like to come over and pursue a bachelor's in law or human rights law, or criminal law, which we offer. And then we'll start to see a few art and design students here and there, but pharmacy and law tend to dominate for us, and luckily we offer both and have Canadian students studying both.
Wow. So how many places for pharmacy per year do you guys offer?
It's not necessarily that it's limited. We can't recruit kind of 100 students onto it, for example, because a lot of our placements are done in the NHS and in GP surgeries and hospitals, and they have limited resource. So we would probably cap it at around 40 to 50 international students. However, places do run out quite quickly because there's such demand for it. So if there are any students wanting to study pharmacy, don't leave it to the last minute. For a September intake, I would make sure that an application was in and completed by February at the latest, 6 months prior.
I think there's also an interview element in pharmacy program as well. Comparing to other like law program where you make an application and you got an offer, so you're ready to go, for example. Whereas for pharmacy, it takes an additional element of interview, which you need an additional preparation as well. So it's better for pharmacy program that you should apply as soon as you possible, and of course to make sure that you're among the 40 students as well.
Wow. Well, Yasir, tell me another thing. This pharmacy program is part of your healthcare program as well, or that is a separate program for your students, like nursing, medicine?
So that's separate. So we do offer nursing. Yeah, we offer nursing programs as well. Medicine we don't, but nursing we do.
Nursing
pharmacy.
You do?
Yes. We have pharmaceutical and cosmetic sciences, which is actually quite popular. It kind of looks more at the creation of the drugs and the medication as opposed to pharmacy, which is a bit more patient facing. So we do offer those, and they're all separate degrees in their own rights.
The reason I asked you, Yasir, I'll come back to you on that one. The reason I asked you about the healthcare and nursing, because there's a huge demand in Canada for nursing, and to my knowledge, all the universities are unable to fulfill that demand. So guys, this is a great opportunity for you to join DMU at a very low cost, at very reasonable rates, and also you're going to experience a totally different culture. Not totally different culture. We've been there. They've been here for a few hundred years. So we know the culture, but we're going to experience it in a different way. So please don't hesitate to call Yasir Bhai. There is a number at the bottom of the screen. I believe you guys have a website as well where your applicants, your students can go and get the support.
Yes, I mean, we have a website, and there's a dedicated online application form as well, which they can fill and complete, and which eventually comes to me. So it's they can easily contact us. We are available between Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We are centrally located in North York, which is very centrally located to various institutions as well. So they can give us a call, make an appointment, and visit our office as well. I would like to add one point on, especially for the law program and the differentiation
for the law program.
Here. Because once you are Canadian graduate from a high school, you basically have to do a 4-year bachelor's degree here in related subject before you apply for an LLB program in Canada. So it becomes 4 years plus 3 years, which becomes 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
In the UK, you basically can apply right after your high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it basically saves your 4 year right there. However, there is some challenges in terms once you come back, you have to write exams, which is going to take around about a year or two in order to become, before you apply for a bar exam. So still saving a couple of years, right?
Wow.
In terms of the cost, it's almost the same as in any law school here. In fact, some of the law schools I know, they are charging about $18,000 to $20,000 a year in a program.
But they'll still be saving 2 years.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of cost saving, in fact.
Exactly.
Wow. That's a great news, guys. All those who want to be lawyers, this is the man. Talk to him. Even if you do anything online, we're gonna run the email address as well on our screen, so you can go there, get the support. But whatever you do, Mr. Yasir Majid, he'll be taking care of it. And one last thing before we wind up our program and say good night, Lisa. Besides cutting cost, a good experience, quality education, what else our future students should expect from the university like yours? As you mentioned very rightly, that this is one of the top universities in the world.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think studying abroad, it makes you become a citizen of the world, and it kind of gets you out of your locality or your town or your city, and makes you see a different side to world and to life and to academia. As I say, I studied abroad and it enriched me with hundreds of different benefits. Plus, you know, the courses that we're offering at the prices we're offering, we're not compromising on academic quality at all. Students will graduate with a recognised, reputable, quality British degree. We've got over 300 courses on offer, you know, across four different faculties, plus a business school as well. So there really is no better time to join. There is a course for everybody out there, and you know, students will graduate with a different sense of living and actually mature. I matured when I studied abroad. It was that first time I was away from home and had to fend for myself and become independent and survive.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And I would encourage any student to do exactly the same.
So, talking about the accepting the applications, is it there certain time of the year when you accept applications, or your program run throughout the year?
We're open all round, so students can apply tonight, tomorrow, or in 2 months' time. We do advise that students apply a little bit earlier for various reasons. The whole visa process and accommodation process, once they've got their offer, can take a little bit of time. So it just is, it's less stress. If students apply a bit earlier, they get their first choice of accommodation. If they leave it later, the good accommodation on campus or the more modern one has run out, and I just think it secures their place. It's a big move across the other side of the world to go on your own for study abroad. It's not something I would rush. Having said that, if students maybe don't get their final grades till July, we will still take applications right up until the end of August for a September start.
For the September start.
Yeah.
And I think the students who apply for bachelor's level, their first year accommodation is guaranteed as well.
We guarantee accommodation for all our international students. The accommodation is either on the campus or a 5-minute walk. It's kind of owned and run by the university, so it's safe, it's secure. We won't be leaving students high and dry. If there's a problem, a member of university security will be there to help. It's affordable and it's guaranteed.
Guys, this is a great news. First year rental, your accommodation is guaranteed. It's on campus, it's only 5 minutes away, and until you get familiar, you don't have to go nowhere else. You are in safe hands, and this is the man who will be supporting you. Yasir bhai, just one last question to you. Lisa just mentioned about visa and accommodation. These are the two most important things for any applicant. Sure. Do you also support your applicants to get visa and to get the accommodation?
Yes, indeed. That's what the whole package is all about, student solution. So when you come to us, we basically, divide that timeline when you basically make an application till the time you get the study permit and apply for accommodation in a way that the students are not really stressed out. So basically, once the students make an application, they have made the deposit and they have fulfilled the requirement of making the deposit to the university, we come into the study permit, which is Tier 4 application process. The Tier 4 application process has to be processed by the student himself. However, we guide them like what are the nitty-gritty involved with that.
Okay.
And once that is done, we look into the accommodation, what time of the year they have to apply for accommodation, like what are the accommodation options available as well. And that is the value-added thing when the universities comes here or on the Skype sessions, what we do for them. That is where the parents listen to us that, okay, these are the options available for them, and they start to make decisions at them.
Okay, and speaking of the accommodation, we just discussed about students, international students who have dependents with them. So do you have accommodation on campus available for the families as well, or you still arrange it nearby to the campus?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll help arrange it nearby, but our accommodation is purely for students because that's the fairest way of doing it. If a family comes and they obviously want to all live together, what we can do is guide the right areas, the right companies to search using the best postcodes, the best landlords. So we can certainly advise, but the dependents wouldn't be able to live in the student accommodation. It is reserved purely for students. However, there's so many options available. It's a city with 2 universities, so housing and student accommodation is never a premium. It is available. And for the international students that come, there's probably 15 different options of accommodation available and dozens of rooms within that. They can share, they can have private, they can have en suite, they can have just 4 students in one apartment, all private bedrooms, or they can share with 10. They can make it as sociable as possible. We try to encourage students to live with other nationalities. We find that students kind of come out of their own shell if they're with people they've never met before. And again, that's what I did, and it was the best thing that the university could have done for me.
I'm sure.
So we really do support and help them as best as possible. There's accommodations to suit all budgets, and as I say, it's you know, they can leave their bed at 8:55 and be in the lecture hall for 9 a.m. It's all on campus or nearby.
So the viewers, all those who have dependents and they're planning to move to the UK for the quality, deaf gold quality education, please don't hesitate and apply now. Yasir bhai, one thing, how much time this process takes when let's say a person comes to you, an applicant comes to you and asks for help, for support? How much time does it take you to get him in the university?
I would say give yourself at least 3 to 4 months for everything, honestly. The reason being, if you want to do, I have the students who come to me around about in June, and they've been really last minute applications and pushing around, and the visa applications will be stress process as well, and accommodation might not be suitable for them because they might not have too many choices. I would say by this time of the year, when they make an application, we have enough time to make a relaxed decision and firm decision. And by the time they will basically get into the school, they will still have 3 to 4 months to apply for a study permit. So I would say on a nutshell basis, it will be 3 to 4 months to make application ready in a relaxed mood. But as Lisa mentioned, there is no such deadline in order to apply. But if you have any questions for applications, and if you're ready, if your last minute application, you can come back to me and I can make sure you're in.
Any last minute thing, Lisa, you want to add?
I was just going to say, to add to that, in terms of the turnaround process, the university can make a student an offer relatively quickly if they come with all the documents that we need. So an application form, predicted grades or final grades, personal statement. If we've got all of those complete, we can make an offer within 5 days. So there's no student is waiting around for weeks on end and wondering, have I not got in. We can do it generally in a week. There are periods of the year when it's a little bit longer because it's the busy season. So August, September, if there's a rush of last minute applications, takes us a little bit longer, but that's another benefit of applying early. If a student is prepared and they've got all the documents ready to submit, the university can make an answer within 5 working days.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yasir bhai, you want to add anything? You want to say something to our viewers who are listening to you and watching you and waiting to reach you somehow to get their application process started?
Sure. I mean, it's a life remembrance. I would say experience once you go abroad, and especially spending 3 years in the UK. I still remember my time when I spent there. So it's a literally good experience to share. And as Lisa mentioned, that once you have into a foreign country at your own, you basically started to get own confidence as well, and are more rather than more dependent, you're more self-belief in terms of dealing the real situation in the world. It's definitely an experience to share, and definitely experience to go and enjoy as well.
So guys, other than Big Wheel, Queen, there is this DMU in Leicester as well. A must go, not just because it is in UK, just because it has TEF, Deaf Gold Quality Education. That is the most important thing, guys. Being seniors, we all been students, and we understand how important the education is. The quality of the education does matter. Not only the quality, but the people who educate you, they do matter as well. After talking to them, what I've understood, these guys are sincere to their cause. They are not selling education. They are giving education for noble cause. That you be a good person, a good human being, a successful human being in your future. It doesn't matter you live here or any part of the world. With this, thank you very much for watching, and once again, you have all the numbers, telephone numbers, and the website address at the bottom of the screen. You have any questions, you have any queries, you want to reach Yasir bhai, you can do that anytime of the day. Do you have some certain timings for so people can reach you anytime?
For sure, between 9 to 5 between Monday and Fridays.
Monday to Friday. Other than that, he plays a lot of cricket. So probably you won't be able to reach him. But yes, if you have emergency, if you have some urgent situation,
sure.
you can try his number any time of the day, any time of the week as well. Thank you very much for watching. This is Nadeem Riaz with Lisa and Yasser. Thank you very much. Good night.